Trump has his own style. It's not great. He has his own off the cuff stuff, but it's Trump. That's him.
Yeah.
And he's not going to train like somebody else. You could say he should be better prepared. We all know that. That's not his style. As soon as I heard the first time they fact checked him incorrectly, I knew, all right, this is not going to be good. This is just not a fair, not, I wouldn't say a fair fight, but it's just the whole process is going to be a mess. And that's exactly what happened. So for people who say, well, she was definitely better polished and whatnot, she got no pushback. All she needed was some person pushing her back, and you would have seen a
Well,
very different.
let before we get into that, I kind of still want to talk about the general overview because to your point, there was one thing that she said that I'm surprised she got no pushback on, which was we have no active military. I don't know if you saw that, but it was we have no active military. The amount of memes I've seen of literally Marines watching it and they'll turn and be like, "Then what are we doing here?" Like that's a big one, and they should have hit her right away with that, just like you did with Trump with the Haitian stuff. Which the Haitian stuff, okay, we're gonna go off the rails a little here, but the Haitian stuff's interesting because from what I've heard, it's definitely not as bad as media made it, but they made it sound like Trump came up with this article and things. I definitely heard it from other places. I didn't learn it from Trump. I learned it from other news organizations. I think it was Fox and CNN also brought it up. But
What was interesting, and you're talking about overall.
yeah,
So the reason why I say that is when I started to look at comments, one of the first things I saw, and I totally agree, this isn't even going to be about the election. This is going to be about ABC News.
exactly.
And that's exactly what it turned into be. And it wound up, and Trump did not look like he, quote unquote, won the debate. That was by design. They didn't want him to win
Yeah.
the debate. And that's fine. They knew his style. He got defensive. He did all the wrong things. But in all fairness, the other candidate didn't shine because, she managed to get through it because she was just allowed to say whatever she wanted to with no real
Well,
debate.
I didn't realize one of her close friends is the CEO of ABC or whatever. Like they're
Yes,
good
and the
friends.
woman, Lindsay Davis, I forget her name. They were in the same sorority.
Yeah.
They've known
With
each
their
other for a long
sister or
time.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but and it's pretty sad when even like Tapper and CNN was saying that was outrageous what ABC did.
Yeah.
So it wound up, and I posted some things for you for the podcast,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So when you watch the tracking, it definitely wound up backfiring on them
Yeah.
because
I don't know which
people are
one.
gonna whoever's watching it who loves Trump is gonna vote for Trump. You're not changing their opinion with this debate. They already know enough that they don't want to change it.
Exactly.
Somebody who wants Kamala Harris. So this was all about independence, and people tend to forget that. What what do independents think? How are you going to sway those people who haven't yet made up their mind? And I had hoped that one candidate could end this tonight, have a definitive win, and we move on. The other candidate, they all said had a definitive win, but we're not moving on, and her numbers are still struggling.
Struggling, yeah.
So it's like one of those we lost the battle but won the war. It's kind of the opposite. She won this battle, but she's losing the
The war,
war
yeah.
because the polling afterwards and during it shows, even though she was better rehearsed, she had the answers pat down, she got to ramble and say whatever she wanted. That's not what independents wanted to hear.
Can I tell you my thoughts on it in the sense of the general idea? So I felt like that was almost psychological warfare. And here's why. The first thing she did when she walked up there, right? She had like the opening speech or whatever. I'm going to set the stage by saying whatever comes out of his mouth is going to be a lie. So you've already set the stage. You've already made people believe what you want them to believe, which is this guy's going to lie. Okay, that's in the back of my mind. And then if you noticed, everything that she answered, and this is the difference of whether you like Trump or I don't. It doesn't matter if you like Trump or not, but I'll tell you this if you really pay attention. Everything she said was based on feeling and emotion. She wanted to tear at your heartstrings. I'm from a middle class family. I want this, I want that. Trump was at least using policies and statistics and using like the real world terms. She really didn't do any of that. You would ask about the policies that she had, and she said, I have a policy. What's the policy? And if you have it, why haven't you implemented it 3.5 years ago? So I think right then and there, that was kind of the checkmate. You can say what you want, but the checkmate is the fact that we still have not had any changes. We have a problem at our border. There's no question about that. Everyone sees it. We don't have to talk about Haitians eating dogs or whatever, but we do have to talk about the migrant crisis that we're having, where 20,000 people, I don't care if they're Haitian or not, are coming over illegally. That you cannot deny. So she's setting the stage. This guy's a liar. Everything he says is going to be a lie. And then he's just saying, well, this is the facts. This is the amount of people that have come. Loose facts in the sense of he said it's probably more than this, which you can't really prove. He's probably right, but at least he's using some metric. Whereas she just says they're good people or whatever she wants to throw out there. And then they're going to fact check him for everything, which they did. But they didn't fact check her at all. And the big one, as I said, was we have no active military. There are thousands of...
That was not the big one. That was one of
many,
big
yeah.
ones,
But that was the
including
one where it's funny because you just lost the Marines. You just lost your soldiers' vote, which I don't think they were voting for her anyway. But it's funny seeing the thousands of Marine videos now. Well, they'll be watching the debate and they'll just turn their cameras and they're like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah.
So again, they didn't fact check her once. And she, again, we could talk about Trump's lies, whatever. But here's the difference. We know he's going to lie in the sense of, unfortunately, that's just how he's always been. And I shouldn't say lie. He more so exaggerates certain things. Whereas she didn't even get checked, and we don't even know. You're going to tell me she was honest the whole time? She's a politician. We all know that's not true either.